Hey everybody, this is Natalie from Light of Ascension Tarot. I'm super excited to be with you today. I have a special reading for you called Cicada Wisdom. So yesterday when I was on my, not yesterday, this was a couple days ago, when I was on my patio, I saw a beautiful cicada that had, well, they're not exact, they look like weird alien flies, like huge, you know, if you've seen one with wings. And this one had emerged from underground, had wings, and was sitting there right on my patio, and it looked like it was sleeping, and it didn't want to go anywhere. It was just kind of sitting there. And I was kind of freaked out when I saw it at first. I'm like, what is that ginormous bug? Okay. So I had a cicada, or I want to call it cicada, right? But that's not it. It's cicada come and visit me. And so I wanted to talk about, you know, animal totems and wisdom of the animals. And one second, you guys, because I have to show you a book. Sorry, you guys. I have to show you this book. It's called Animals Speak. And of course the cicada isn't, I don't think it's in here, but there is so many insects, reptiles, birds, animals in here. This is one of, if you like working with animal totems or animal spirit guides, or I mean, the beginning chapters talking about reading signs and omens in nature is so freaking amazing. For those of you, this book is called Animals Speak by Ted Andrews, and you can find it on Amazon. And I mean, I've been highlighting the heck out of this book, reading it, and it is phenomenal. This is someone who I feel really does understand and respect the nature of all living things, and you know, how back in the day you could use animals to they were called like augurs back in the day, and they would look and watch the signs. They would look at what the birds were doing, and it was a way of what in back in the day, like in Aristotelian time or Plato's time, it was a way to like read the signs and determine future events, and or pre-science, which pre-science means like foresight, right? So it's such an amazing, and I've been seeing so many animals and insects and different things lately. I wanted to bring you guys wisdom from a specific animal totem. Now, if you are like, I know what cicadas are, I'm well versed in them, I know what they do, because what they do is pretty amazing, and I'm gonna explain it. But if you're like, I don't want to, I just want to go straight to my pile, get to the reading, Natalie, then you can go directly to the link in the description box below and find the timestamp and pick your pile. For those of you that are like readers and you love like oracle cards with animal decks in them, or you love just reading the signs in nature, I cannot recommend this book enough. It is phenomenal. Okay, and there's another YouTube channel as well where this woman just breaks, I mean, it's so detailed, and I'll drop a link. If you guys remind me in the comments, I'll drop a link to her YouTube channel, because she actually brought this book up, and she is like, I can tell she's the real deal. She knows what she's doing when it comes to animals, talking about them as totems, animal spirit guides, animal totems, going through like, it's different if it's an animal spirit guide versus a totem, and you know, going through each one in great detail. Okay, so I feel like I hit a new level of understanding getting this book, so I wanted to share it with you guys. And if you have the book, then you know, cool, like pick it up and read it again. But what I was gonna say, so this whole reading is about the wisdom of the cicadas, okay, or I want to say cicadas, but it's cicada, so sorry if I say it that way, but cicada, the wisdom of cicada. And they're, like I said, they're rather large insects. They have one of the longest lifespans of any insect, and their story is so unique. And when they're above ground and they come out and come into their adult form, they have wings and they live for about 4 to 6 weeks, and then you know, the cycle starts all over again. But I saw this huge cicada on my deck, and it looks like a giant alien fly, like I said, when they have their wings. And So I'm just going to read you a little bit about cicadas and just tell you, so cicadas, the periodical cicadas some of them appear every 13 years or every 17 years above ground. So they're like tracked on a map all over the US, all over the country, Australia, etc., to show like when they're going to come above ground, because you have periods of time when they're not coming up because it takes them a while to kind of emerge. Okay, so this whole reading is about emerging, and especially in the next 4 to 6 week period. So I have all my notes here. Let me just kind of go through them. And so cicadas appear above the ground every 17 years. And when it's a nymph, NYMPH, that's what it's called, it hatches its eggs. The eggs basically the nymphs are created and hatched from eggs. And at that time, the nymphs burrow into the ground where it spends 17 years and lives for only 4 to 6 weeks after it comes out of the ground, okay? And when it's underground for those 17-year period or 13-year period, depending, but we're talking about the 17-year period, really. When it's underground and it's not coming up, it's not in hibernation. The cicada is conscious and active in their wingless nymph form, and they at that time are excavating tunnels and feeding on the sap from the tree roots. They emerge due to the temperature. They wait for the perfect temperature after this 17-year period, and then they emerge for 4 to 6 weeks, and they do their business, they mate, they go through the news cycle, and then they die after that 4 to 6 weeks after living 17 years underground. So like I said, they are the longest living insect. And how do they know when to appear after 17 years, right? How does the insect know to come out from the ground? It's because it is sensing the passage of time from the tree sap, okay? So they can sense internally the passage of time when they're eating the tree sap, which blew my mind when I figured that out. Like, what an amazing insect, okay? And once they find the perfect temperature and it's been that 17-year period, they emerge, but it's well noted that they are not in hibernation. They are very active during the time that they are underground during those 17 years, okay? And they get these exoskeletons that harden and shed, and maybe you sometimes see the cicada like exoskeletons kind of laying on the ground and things like that. The males do their mating calls, which are very loud. Some people get kind of annoyed with them because they're super loud and they make a lot of noise. Some of people say they can be like louder than a lawnmower. So when you have like a bunch of them coming up under the ground after 17 years, you can imagine for that 4 to 6 week period, it's very loud. A lot of people in ancient times, well, not even, because Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, they loved cicadas and they even ate them. You can actually eat them too. They're not poisonous to humans and they love them. There's stories of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates sitting in a field and listening to their song, okay? So in the ancient world, cicadas were looked at in a really interesting way, and they were looked as, harbingers and signs and etc. But at some point, the Bible, people thought, because of the Bible, because of the plague of locusts, people thought that cicadas were the same as locusts, but they're not. Because after that 4 to 6 week period, you're going to see a bunch of them on the ground, on the forest floor, kind of like all dead, after that 4 to 6 week period. And so people thought, oh, this is like locusts. It's like the plague in biblical terms, right? But cicadas are not even in the same family as locusts. They're completely different animals. Locusts are like grasshopper looking, and cicadas are like kind of weird alien giant flies with red eyes and wings. It's kind of interesting, okay? Yeah, so, and there's one predator of the cicada that can be very deadly, and that's a cicada killer wasp, okay? So certain wasps, they can inject their larva into a cicada that they paralyze, where the larva will hatch and basically eat the cicada from inside, consume the cicada from inside, okay? So some questions we're gonna ask in this reading too. That's their biggest kind of predator that they have to watch out for, that cicadas have to watch out for, are wasps. And you know, the reason that cicadas only come up out of ground every 17 years or 13 years, depending on the type, the reason that is because they're trying to avoid predators that hatch every year, right? So 13 and 17 are prime numbers. They're, you know, it's not easy for predators to kind of match that cycle. So it's a way to bypass predators when they're doing that 17-year period, okay? So some of the questions we're gonna ask in the reading are, where are we paralyzed and easy prey, right? Because the cicada killer wasp can paralyze a cicada and make it pretty easy prey. Like, where are we numb and easily taken over? Where are we energetically devoured? We'll look at some of those questions. It's not gonna all be doom and gloom, okay? But we will look at some of those questions. We're also gonna look at how to sing our song, right? Because cicadas are known for their loud, like, buzzing noise. And how do we sing our song in the next 4 to 6 weeks, right? It will be important to put our voices out there, mate, birth your baby, etc. You know, whether that's a creative project, etc. And I have here, put your voice out there, twerk, but I think it was supposed to be talk, right? But put your voice out there, twerk, mate, birth your baby, then fall to the ground, burrow in the ground, and another 17 years starts, okay? So, and actually in 4 to 6 weeks, it'll be October, like October 31st, it'll be the end of October. So then we're kind of getting into that winter period in the Northern Hemisphere of kind of going underground, okay? So we'll deal with that energy as well. And with the cicadas though, we're looking, the main message of this reading is, you know, in the next 4 to 6 weeks, what can we emerge? You know, what can we bring to life and what can we emerge, okay? And timing is everything, right? Because the cicada waits for the very perfect timing and the perfect weather. So the whole gist of this reading is what is emerging under the perfect conditions for you. And because cicadas live, you know, either because they're underground 13 years or 17 years, we can look at that in tarot as the death card and the star card, okay? So for those of you that know, death is card 13 and the star card is number 17, right? But where are we emerging under the perfect conditions in the next 4 to 6 weeks? And also we'll look at some of the more difficult questions too, like where are we paralyzed and easy prey? Where are we numb and easily taken over? And where do we feel consumed and devoured, okay? So we're gonna look at a lot of stuff in this reading, and we have 3 different piles to choose from. Okay, so now we're gonna get into pile choice. And for pile number 1, we have the yellow tea light. For pile number 2, we have the purple tea light. And for pile number 3, we have the white tea light. So that's pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3. Yellow, purple, white. That's what I was feeling today. Like spirit gave me yellow, purple, white. Okay, so go ahead and choose your pile, whatever is resonating for you. And you can watch more than one pile, of course, as well. So we are gonna go ahead. We're gonna get into the good stuff. We're gonna look at some of the more difficult things that some of us might be facing right now, but you know, we're gonna do it with an eye towards healing and growing, okay? So let's go ahead and get into it. For my beautiful pile number 1s, we're gonna put piles 2 and 3 aside for now, and we're gonna get into pile number 1. Let me take a drink of water. I feel like some of you guys are already pre-nervous about the wasp eating the cicada from the inside out, okay? But try not to, okay? Try not to. Let's go ahead and get into it. Please and thank you. Let's do it. Pile number 1, welcome to your reading. You chose the yellow tea light, and today's reading is Cicada Wisdom, what is emerging for you in the next 4 to 6 weeks under perfect conditions. And if you're like, what's a cicada? I have no idea what you're talking about. Watch my intro where I go through what cicadas are and why we're using the wisdom of this very interesting, weird alien fly-looking insect to predict the next 4 to 6 weeks and what is emerging for you under the perfect conditions. And we also have a couple more difficult questions related to this wisdom and medicine that we are going to be asking as it relates to this cicada. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. Spirits, angels, and guides, for my beautiful pile number 1s, please connect me to the energy of my beautiful them, they, their, pile number 1, he, she, them, they, their, right? For my beautiful pile number 1s, and also connect me to the cicada energy that wants to come through for my beautiful pile number 1s, please, and thank you. Today, the sun is on us, pile number 1, with that yellow tea light. So let's see what is coming up here. We have the 5 of Wands in challenging times, okay? So there's been some challenging times. Ooh, the star card, number 17, that's amazing. And yeah, you guys, I was talking about 17-year cycles with the cicadas, how they live underground for 17 years and then they emerge, and how it's related to the star card. And we have healing here. So you are healing from some challenging times. Pile number 1, all right? That's interesting and exciting as well to be healing from that, okay? And I feel like Spirit is saying, I feel some of you guys may be a little bit tired, or you may have kind of lost your faith in humanity, or you may just assume that people are just only out for themselves. You know, I feel like some of you guys could be dealing with some of that energy and how it has really suppressed the divine feminine, okay? Or how it's really, you know, how it's really been challenging for the divine feminine, okay? It says the frequency of the divine feminine supports our soft, receptive, and nurturing side, facilitating our intuition and intrinsic understanding of our connection to the cosmos. And talking about our connection to the cosmos, the stars as the gateway, right, to the cosmos. The stars are a part of the cosmos. And we have 16 and 17, all right, coming from a 5, 6, 7, okay? So I do feel like, you know, some of what you guys are these challenging times where you feel you've been tested and other people have been very squirrely or very squirming out of things, or not standing up for others when they should be, and sometimes maybe feeling like you're kind of at it alone and you lost a little bit of faith with humanity. And, you know, the star card has to do with that kind of faith in things, okay? And some of you guys just could be going through some challenging internal struggles as well within yourself, feeling like you're failing yourself, or you're not rising to the challenge. But there's a softer energy here with this divine feminine that is emerging for you, that is associated with this cicada wisdom, okay? Oh, broken open. This actually popped up the other day in my Pisces moon bonanza reading. So if you got the broken open card again, it's following you to this reading again. And the star is on her, actually this was on my waiting for a star to fall reading. Man, I have been deep in the star archetype lately. Deep in the divine feminine and the star archetype, waiting for a star to fall, or maybe in my Pisces bonanza reading. But here she is again, you know, those challenging times and being broken open, waiting for a star to fall on that crown chakra to get that healing, okay? And yeah, what's emerging for you is this sense of being broken. Sometimes, you know, to get to our softer energies, it's almost like we have to be broken open. And it was interesting as I was pulling cards for this reading, the heart chakra kept popping up, which is definitely, you know, the sacral chakra, the heart chakra. That's definite divine feminine energy, very soft, gentle energy. And sometimes, you know, we need to go through those periods of vulnerability or being challenged in certain ways in our life because it shows us our more softer, vulnerable side, all right? We have Leopoldite and Serenity, okay? So Leopoldite, the crystal Leopoldite. Leopoldite contains lithium, which is often used to treat people with bipolar disorder, manic depressive, and mood swings, or just, and also this could be about depression in general, or feeling depressed about humanity, right? And needing to heal from that. Leopoldite is a great emotional balancer. Leopoldite calms the nerves and helps release anxiety, worry, and stress. It is a stone for serenity, meditation, spiritual purification, the Star card. Okay, tucked under the pillow, it can help with insomnia. Yeah, I mentioned some of you maybe having a hard time sleeping as well. There could be anxiety, worry, and stress, your nerves feeling shot. All right, and Aquarius energy, of course, to me, that's like the nervous system because, yeah, and it's very vulnerable. The naked woman on the Star card, she's very vulnerable out there under the moonlight, isn't she? And when you think of Aquarius, I do think of Uranus and the nervous system and all of that. So there could be, you know, you're needing softer times for sure. Pile number one, you're definitely needing that serenity. And some of you guys may be worried about seasonal depression. For those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, I need the sun, right? Here's the yellow tea light. I know for me, I need that kind of, I like waking up to the sun, you know? It's like the divine feminine also needs, it's like the moon needs the sun and the sun needs the moon, right? Pile number one. So there's some serenity in knowing that the sun is going to rise and the moon is going to rise at night and the sun is going to rise in the day, and just this serenity of knowing, okay? And we have follow the leader, card 40, okay? So there is this sense of, look at all these animals. You're out here out front and all these little animals. There's a duck, an eagle, it looks like a hawk, a baby duck. It's like follow the leader down the path and it's leading to time, okay? And the tree, right? And cicadas live in trees and they take a long time to emerge, 17 years. And it's time to heal, right? Is the energy that I'm getting here. Because this is, and maybe there is someone that can help you with this, or there's an angel in your life or somebody who can help show you the way or show you the path. And it's not too late, all right? For some of you who feel like I'm in my 40s, I should be healed because this is card 40, or you're coming up on that, or you're wondering what that's gonna be like when you get older, it's all good, pile number one, okay? It's never too late. It's never too late. So let's see what else we have here. We have, Sun in Aries and Leap of Faith, new beginnings. And we have the dolphins here, okay? That looks like the dolphins are leaping into the sun, which we don't want the poor dolphins to be hurt, right? And maybe that's you guys too. It's like, well, I do want to take this chance, but I don't want to be hurt again because I'm feeling very soft and vulnerable right now in my life. And I don't want, you know, I feel empowered though, and I think you are, right? And you know, when cicadas emerge after 17 years and they grow their wings and then they fly, it's like, wow, you know, it's like a new life. It's like that transformation. It's like a whole new life, I feel like. And this whole new life that you're getting into, pile number one, is much softer. It has to do with healing. It has to do with this vulnerability, okay? And here's the Lovers, okay? For some of you, I was feeling this could be about romance as well. If you've been going through, you know, times of challenge when it comes to that, okay? Or just in general, you've been going through it, okay? Especially as it relates to other people or in your partnerships or at work. And I do feel there is this wanton need for connection, right? There's this wanton need for this alchemy of joining together. And, you know, it's so interesting because they say, you know, the divine feminine, right? You see the woman looking up at the angel, and it's the woman who is channeling the angel, and it's the man who is connecting to the woman through the divine feminine and through the angels, okay? So putting the divine feminine in her proper place, you know, And there's a reason, you know, it was interesting when I was in Sedona and I was at the Kachina Woman Vortex, and it looks like the masculine is bowing to the feminine. And, you know, when we bow our heads, it's like we're saying our head is subordinate to our hearts, you know, it's that observance and that obedience to the heart that the head kind of needs to. And that's all about the heart chakra and healing. That's all about the divine feminine energy. And I feel you guys have dolphin energy here with the dolphins. You have a new beginning. You're being broken open. This happened for a purpose. If some of you have been like, hey, I've been going through some really challenging times, feeling depressed, feeling uneasy, whatever it is you've been going through, pile number one, I feel like this lover's energy is saying, you know, it's going to expand. I love this angel because she's holding out her hands like this can grow if you want it to. The choice is yours, right? And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. So we have two major arcanas. We have the Star card as well. So this truly is a new beginning for you. And I feel like anything goes. If you felt like you were stuck in a role before, pile number one, and you could not get out of that role, and you were asking for spirit to help you in a certain partnership or any situation, like I feel like I'm stuck. Also feeling mentally stuck. If you felt like you were kind of mentally stuck in a position for a long time and you were asking spirit to help you move that energy, I feel with the Wheel of Fortune, it is moving, all right? And you're getting new insights with the Sphinx. You're getting some brand new insights, and the energy is gonna move, pile number one. Oh, and look at how sweet it is to be loved by pile number one. Okay, so 3 of Cups, and I feel it is very sweet to be loved by you, right? Because you have this very open, divine, feminine, healing energy with others, and that's why you can be a leader. Follow the leader and Aries energy here, right? And that's why, because people think that leading is all about like shoving others out of the way, and you know what I mean? It's not that. It really isn't that. And yeah, and that's why others celebrate you, pile number one. I mean, a question I want to ask you is, do you know how celebrated you are? All right. Do you know how I feel like your guides look at you sometimes and are like, you're so clever. How did you figure that out? Okay. I feel like there's a lot of things you guys figure out about life too, and the choices that people make and the choices that you've made. And some of you are realizing some choices you made didn't feel good for you or didn't lead to your happiness, but it did open you up. And because we're in a 17-year cycle, look back to the last 17 years. And it's something I did recently because the cicada appeared to me. And or even the last 10 years, right, with the Wheel of Fortune and the cycles of partnerships, friendships, etc., that you've been in. And it's time for a softer, these situations have broken you open, pile number one, but you are very celebrated and loved in the spirit realm and in this realm too. And your guides are like, pile number one, you figured that out, okay? So timing is everything. And what I feel is emerging for you in the next 4 to 6 weeks is some really cool options and decisions that you can make that you've maybe been sitting on for a while, looking for a sign and wondering, and all of a sudden, you know, just through talking to someone or through sharing a drink with someone or even just through creative playtime, just sitting at home doing arts and crafts or playing and putting on some calming music and doing some things or reading a book or something, I feel the answers come towards you. You're like, I know what I need to do now. These challenging times that broke me open are yielding this star divine feminine energy. Okay, so that's what I feel is coming for you in the next 4 to 6 weeks. And some of you may have an opportunity. This is, you know, Gemini, Sagittarius energy, Aquarius energy, Aries showing up in this reading. Some of you guys are going to have an opportunity to spend more time with the people that care about you coming up, I feel. Okay, and the wheel is going to turn and decisions are going to be made in the next 4 to 6 weeks, pile number one. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if If you've been working through something that's been very challenging, this is a celebration. The Three of Cups is like, wow, open up your eyes, right? What's that song from the 90s? Open Up Your Eyes by Tonic or something, I think the name is it. But let's go ahead and see. Let's see some of these more challenging questions too. And we're gonna look at okay, there's one right there. Where has my pile number 1 felt paralyzed or like they're easy prey, numb or easily taken over? And where do they feel consumed and energetically devoured? Okay, so I feel like you've been dealing with some selfish people, pile number 1, and you've been dealing with some people who don't really care so much about the needs of others. And it feels like you really care, but you can't be the only one pulling that weight. You can't be the only one. And if you've been having to defend others at work, or you've been having to stand up for others, and you also that sense of feeling disappointed with human nature, with the selfishness of some people, and, you know, looking around you and realizing some of these people don't really care about me, or they don't really care about, you know, they don't really celebrate me when I pass something, or I achieve something, or I work something out. It's like they don't even notice, or they don't even see it, or, you know, and just the selfishness of some people, I feel, pile number 1. Okay, let's see what else here. What else? Where does pile number 1? So maybe feeling like taking advantage of. Where are we paralyzed? Feeling like easy prey, like somebody took advantage of you, okay? But these energies are being moved out of your life to get you to better days, okay? And yeah, some people being very self-absorbed and being very selfish and self-absorbed, all right? And these people our society these days is not really geared towards people expressing empathy or this divine feminine healing energy. People get very selfish and self-absorbed. They only are worried about like what they're going through. Their world becomes very small, you know, and they can't see the bigger picture, the wheel of fortune, and how their decisions, the lovers, are impacting others, okay? But I think there is a way for you to kind of bypass this and create your own world here, your own little world, I feel, in a way, pile number 1, okay? And not in a bad way, not in a self-absorbed, selfish type of way, but just being with better people, I feel like, is something that needs to kind of happen for you, okay? So yeah, I mean, that's where you're feeling consumed and energetically devoured, when you're around people who only care about their own progress, who only care. It's like at work, right? Like if, you know, certain managers only work with certain people because they only like them. They don't work on developing any of the others. They just pick their favorites and go with it. Very selfish, self-absorbed, small-minded kind of thinking, right? And that can lead to a drain on the resources and create a lot of challenging dynamics and challenging times for others, because I'm just giving this as an example, right? I mean, this could come in partnerships too, where, you know, someone is really worried or anxious or nervous about somebody in their life, but that other person isn't really considering them, okay? And that, you know, egocentric is on the bottom of the deck, all right? And this is reminding you, not everyone is sharing the same perspective as you. Pile number 1, not everyone is in their divine feminine, and that doesn't mean they shouldn't be held to a standard. But follow the leader here, you know. It's time for people to start following the more of the feminine, you know, is what I feel, okay? It's time for the feminine to be exalted, all right? Because some of this like selfish, stepping on others, self-absorbed, egocentric behavior creates a lot of burden for other people, okay? So let's go ahead and see. Let's see what's the antidote. Spirit, what is the antidote? What is the antidote here? ancestors. All right, so working with ancestor and wisdom. I knew that I knew that acorn was going to come out. I just felt it. All right, so we have, oh, and the past, number 34, which adds up to the 7, which is wisdom. So basically your past experiences have broken you open to create this beautiful wisdom that now flows through your energetic body, mouth, mind, heart, soul, everything in a very congruent way. Okay, you see a lot, pile number 1, and it is time for you to emerge as a healer and someone who can hold the divine feminine and also take it forward with action, with Aries energy, with that confidence, okay, that we saw here, leap of faith, all right? And, you know, Aries leads the entire zodiac. Follow the leader, right? All the other signs are coming, you know, Aries is first, right? So there's something here about your past and what you've experienced through pain and hardship and through other people just being not really seeing, like seeing with one eye open, you know? They just see with one eye open, very limited vision, okay? And observing some of these patterns, pile number 1, has brought you this intense wisdom that is like a gift, okay? It's a beautiful gift for you. And joy is on the bottom of the deck, the hummingbird here. So the hummingbird coming through saying with the yellow tea light, you know, it's time to let go so we can have joy. 3 of Cups, yellow tea light, so we can break ourselves open so we can experience joy fully. Okay, wow. Interesting, pile number 1. Thank you so much, pile number 1. And actually, I didn't even use my deck, but that's okay. Sometimes I put the decks out and it's like I don't use them because I feel like the reading is good and it works, and that's cool. Okay, so thank you so much, pile number 1. I hope you enjoyed your reading in the wisdom of a cicada. And yeah, keep pushing, pile number 1. You're doing great, okay? Good things coming for you. 3 of Cups. Hope to see you next time. And it really does help if you like the video, if you can hit the like button or you can leave a comment. Anything is very appreciated. Thank you so much, pile number 1. Hope to see you again soon. All right, let's move on to pile number 2. Let's do it. For my pile number 2s, need a drink of water. First, it's like, what do I need? Everything. Gotta grab everything. Okay, so let's do it, pile number 2. Let's go ahead and rock it in the free world, pile number 2. Okay, pile number 2, welcome to your reading. You chose the purple tea light, and it is 12:22 on my clock right now. 222 in pile number 2 with the purple tea light. Starting off on a good note for you, pile number 2. And today's reading is called The Wisdom of the Cicadas. And if you're like, what the heck is a cicada, Natalie? Then watch my intro and I explain cicadas are some of the longest living insects, and they basically come out from underground, not hibernation, but underground after 17 years, sometimes 13 years, depending on the type. But we're kind of focusing on the 17-year cicadas, and we're asking, you know, and they come out from underground when the time is right to emerge. So this whole reading is about perfect timing in the next 4 to 6 weeks and what's emerging for you and what's coming up for you. And then we're going to also look at some of the more challenging issues, like, you know, where do we feel paralyzed, like we're easy prey? Where are we numb and easily taken over? Where do we feel consumed and energetically devoured? Okay, because cicadas really have one main predator, which is the cicada killer wasp. And they plant an egg inside of the cicada that eats it alive from the inside. So not to be like, you know, disgusting for you today, pile number 2, but just we're also going to talk about how to sing our song, okay? Because cicadas are known for, they're loud, they make themselves known, and those 4 to 6 weeks that they come out from underground, they're mating, they're singing, they're mating, they're doing a bunch of stuff, okay? They're flying everywhere, they're in the trees, Okay, so we are going to take a look at the next 4 to 6 weeks for you. And this is all due to the fact that I saw a crazy big cicada on my patio the other day. It looks like a fly with gigantically huge wings, a weird alien fly. So let's go ahead and get into it. Spirits, angels, and guides, for my beautiful pile number 2, please help me connect to the wisdom of the cicada, and also my beautiful pile number 2s who are here today looking for their beautiful answers in their reading. Thank you so much, Spirit. Let's go ahead and do it. All right, let's go ahead and do it. Let's see what's coming up. Ooh, I love this. The Hermit, seek, okay? And they said, like back in the day, that Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, that they would sit on the countryside, or they would sit and listen to the cicadas. They would just listen to their song, and they would just soak up that, and their teachers would have them sit there and listen to them too, okay? As part of this like blending with nature, all right? And I'm also loving the birds on this card, and yeah, you could have a connection to birds as well. Birds are very powerful messengers and animal guides and totems, and this person here is sitting in the middle of a forest soaking up the energy, like they're literally within a tree, okay? So you've really planted yourself in the energy. The work that you've been doing I wanted to say 2 years. So for some of you, this could be you've been getting ready to emerge for the last 2 years. You've been in this solitude, okay? And some of you may be life path number 9. We have the Hermit number 9 coming out here, or the Hermit may be your tarot guide card. You know, when you add up like your birthday, if you get a 9, then you're the Hermit. But yeah, this is all about connecting to the internal so that we can, so that we can make the right decisions and go the right path on the external. And I also feel this is about welcoming in the energy for you over the next 4 to 6 weeks, pile number 2. You're welcoming some new energy into your life. Some of you may be welcoming in a new animal totem or guide into your life as well, but you're definitely in that space of welcoming and receiving this energy, okay? And some of you guys may have been kind of solitude lately with the Hermit, or you may have over the last couple of years. I mean, especially with what's been going on in the world, a lot of people have been in that kind of solitude and going through that energy, so it's, yeah, we have the 6 of Swords here. Healing begins, okay? So yeah, so seeking out, what is nourishing to you, what's good for you, all right? When we talk about Virgo energy as well, it's also like our stomachs and our digestion and our intestines, and kind of moving that energy through, right? The 6 of Swords is like moving it through, right? So no constipation, pile number 2, right? Move that energy through. Whatever it is that needs to be moved through and needs to be healed for you. So we have healing begins here. And I see her and something new is getting unveiled for you. And I see her pushing aside the curtains, or pushing aside what she was hiding behind to kind of emerge, all right? And doing it in a way that feels mentally satisfying too. We have grace. Oh my God, I love it that this card came up, card 24. Of course, 24 adds up to a 6. So here we are with this grace and this beautiful blue energy. The frequency of grace supports our smooth adaptation and anticipation of life currents and changes as we evolve toward a higher version of ourselves on this earthly plane, bridging the divine with the human essence, okay? And yeah, the human essence of the Hermit, and bridging the divine with that, and the grace and the healing, body healing. I feel like for a lot of you, if you've been feeling sick and you haven't been feeling very well, I feel like in the next 4 to 6 weeks, finally some grace, right? I feel like doing like a bow, like doing like this to you, pile number 2. Finally some grace for you. Finally some healing for you. Let the healing begin, whether it's in your mind, and you've been seeking this kind of mental freedom and space from overthinking and from just responding instead of reacting, instead of responding, or feeling stress and pressure, or even stress and pressure in the body. Okay, let the healing begin. Let the body relax, right? Finally, a period of grace in the next 4 to 6 weeks. I see that coming for you. Earth Magic, card number 1, resonating with the Magician. And Earth Magic, absolutely. And you see, he's sitting in the middle of a field in a forest by a tree here. And it's very much this feeling of Earth Magic and getting those feet on the ground and letting those feet kind of soak up that earth energy. So there definitely is some, and I know in the Northern Hemisphere, in the next 4 to 6 weeks is kind of like, you know, once we start getting into November, things get a little bit colder. It may be harder to walk outside. So definitely walk outside, let your feet touch the ground, go outside and sit in nature if you can, if you're able to. And look at all these little stars here. And I feel like, this is the cicada coming up underneath with that 17-year cycle and the star card of the tarot coming up out of the earth, right? Things getting really grounded so that this healing in your life and this grace can finally come through. All right, if some of you guys have been dealing with sore calf muscles or sore feet or legs, I also feel like, you know, stretching, healing, all of that is beginning to emerge for you here. We have orange calcite and sociability. Okay, so some of you guys who've been very kind of by yourself a lot, but it's been really good for you at the same time. I do see you having some good, healthy social interactions with people, right? Because it's not quantity, but it's quality, right? And so that's what we're getting at here. If you would like to be more outgoing, orange calcite is the crystal for you. It promotes warmth, friendliness, and a sunny disposition. If you are prone to shyness, the Virgo hermit, orange calcite can help you release social inhibitions and enhance confidence. She looks like she's coming out of hiding behind the curtain here, and help create confidence in group situations. It also stimulates creativity and playfulness. Orange calcite is like a ray of sunshine, pile number 2. I am confident in social settings. My warm-hearted and easygoing nature attracts friends into my life. Okay, so for those of you looking for some more opportunities to chat and talk with like-minded people, it's time to kind of come out of the cave a little bit here. You can always go back in it when you want to, soak up that earth magic, but there is something that's calling you forward to emerge. And it's interesting that you got the sun, right? And with this orange calcite, basically talking about warmth and sunny disposition, because cicadas love the sun. They absolutely love it. And during the summertime, they can be very active. Okay, so yeah, and some of you guys may be wondering, like, it's winter time is coming up and I'm gonna go back in my cave. I don't think so. In the next 4 to 6 weeks, I feel like you are going to be more outgoing and you will be at peace with it. And I don't think it's going to be too much. Okay. We have Bone Collector. Wow. 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 We have 2 ones here. Okay. We have Earth Magic and Bone Collector. Whoa. So talking about cycles and time, and she's holding a peacock feather. There's a rabbit next to her. She's very in tune with nature. Extremely in tune, no matter where she's at. If she's in the driest desert with nothing else around her, she always has that. She always just has what she needs with her. And that's something I want you guys, you know, it's kind of the grace of, I have what I need when I need it. It shows up for me. I have all my tools. I have all my materials. Everything that I need is here with me. Okay, and because you have 2 ones here as well, with the Earth Magic and the Bone Collector, I think you're very unique, pile number 2. You're very unique, and you do gain a lot of, you know, wisdom from the earth, from the animals, from the land. Some of you guys may have ancestors that were shamanistic or had those, or were indigenous peoples, or you have a connection to that. And you know, the world needs your magic. Okay, we have earth magic. We have 2 number 1s here with the magician. The world actually needs you to sort of come out and be in that group energy, right? And I think the 6 of Swords is going to give you that, sense of detachment while also being engaged and friendly. That's going to help you. And this orange calcite helping to kind of bring you out of your cave a little bit here, because the world does need, your magic, your healing. They need that, all right? They need to be graced with you. I feel pile number 2. Oh, we have Sun in Libra, harmony. Okay, we are in Libra right now. We're in Libra season right now. It says, enjoy life with music, love, and romance. Okay, so Spirit is saying, enjoy some time with a partner, enjoy some time with a good friend, enjoy some time with a family member, or just even with yourself, enjoying music, love, and romancing yourself, right? Sometimes we have to do that too. But yeah, it's Sun and Libra energy, and I love this beautiful rose in the background too, swans. Very beautiful symbols of devotion here too. Beautiful symbols of devotion. Harmony, okay? And if you are out talking to people and kind of emerging and sharing your work with others or helping others in any way, I feel it's very well received. Grace and harmony. You are very well received, pile number 2, just so you know. If you're like, I don't know if people really like me, maybe I seem aloof or standoffish, I don't feel that's true at all. People really soak in your energy and enjoy it, I feel. Okay, we have the Ace of Wands. So some of you needing to kind of put your creative work out there, to put your projects out there and start new things, because we have 2 1s and then we have the Ace of Wands. So it's like we have 3 1s in your reading, 1 1 1, okay? And it's time to put your ideas out there. It's time to take what you've soaked in, what you've learned in the last cycle, okay, in the last 9 months, really. I feel it's like birthing a creation, and kind of put that energy out and show what it is that you're working on, okay? And it's gonna be well received. We have the 8 of Wands, so timing is perfect. And that's with the cicadas, timing is perfect, right? When they emerge, and they emerge from their cocoon, or from their, not even hibernation, just from below, when they've soaked in all the energy they need to soak in, they emerge at the perfect moment, Ace of Wands, and then they release that swift arrow, the 8 of Wands, okay? And they hit their target exactly, all right? So if you guys are like, I'm looking to put something out in the world in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and I'm wondering how it's gonna go, I think your timing is impeccable, and I think it's well received, pile number 2. Okay, so Ace of Wands, 8 of Wands. Oh, look at this. Oh, I love it, pile number 2. I absolutely love it. And I feel like I was seeing the Queen of Pentacles at the beginning of your reading. It's like that kind of head tilt that she has, right? Very humble, but also holding the energy, right? Holding it. When you have the 8 of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles and the Ace of Wands, things get very excited. There's a lot of fire energy. There's a sense of wanting to create and show what I feel like this is other people coming to you, honestly, pile number 2. This is other people being like, hey, I'd like to work with you on something. I'd like to get your attention on something. I'd like to offer you this opportunity, this new project. And I feel like things coming at you fairly quick, especially during Sagittarius season, and also in the next 4 to Libra season is setting this up for you. In Sag season, I feel it's really taking off. And there's some big things that you're working on, and there's some big efforts that you're making, but you're holding the energy with so much grace and love, and you're very grounded. It's that earth magic. We have Virgo, Capricorn. We could have all the earth signs here, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Yeah, but talking about this sociability and actually putting yourself out there so that the right people can reach you is something that, and maybe sometimes you don't feel like you want to, because the Queen of Pentacles can be kind of private in a way too. She's an excellent project manager. She can take care of anything. She can handle the details. She puts in the effort. She's amazing at her work and whatever she does, but she may not be, good at advertising herself or good at getting, you know, getting as much coverage as she could, right? So I feel like, you know, getting your product out there, getting the word out there is gonna create new opportunities for you, and possibly even some business opportunities as well, or chances to collaborate, or and I don't, it's not necessarily collaboration with the ones and the nines. I'm feeling like sociability, your work is going to be well received, but I feel it's work you do kind of on your own that only you can do, pile number 2. But people are interested in what you're doing for sure. And I do think for those of you that are self-employed and you have businesses and you're like, when is things going to kind of, you know, when's the energy going to shift? I think you've got the next 4 to 6 week period leading into this, coming up with, you know, as you get in harmony and you experience this grace and you bring your ideas out to the world, pile number 2, I feel like boom, 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 then things start kind of firing off, okay? So that's really good. Let the healing begin. Let the healing begin, because others need you. Let's go ahead. Now we're going to look and see, where are you paralyzed or easy prey? Where are you numb and easily taken over? Or where do you feel consumed and energetically devoured? Okay, so nothing like a light topic, pile number 2, to get us into your reading. I mean, I feel the earth magic big time. Some of you guys are probably very, very good with earth magic. And if you I feel some of your ancestors may have even practiced earth magic, okay, or reading the signs, or very connected to nature. So I do feel you have a lot of natural talents there, and I'm getting chills as I say this, so thank you. It's my guides confirming that for you, pile number 2. Let's see, where have you been paralyzed and easy prey, pile number 2? You know what? Interesting. Pile number 1 got the same thing. We're going to pull a couple of these, but dealing with selfish people, all right? Dealing with people who are not very graceful, who maybe take advantage of your gifts. And maybe that's why some of you guys have been in your hermit mode and you've been, you know, getting replenished yourself energetically, because you've been dealing with some very, you know, when people are very talented, like the Queen of Pentacles, people can get very selfish with that energy and want to kind of hog it for themselves, okay? And I think you can see why this happens, pile number 2, and why people are like this, and, you know, but it might have made you feel like you wanted to kind of stay behind the curtain or not really fully let others into your world, okay? And you also here dealing with some arrogant people, okay? Dealing with some very arrogant people. And it's saying here, if you're insecure and fear rejection, right? With the Queen of Pentacles, that's kind of the shadow side, I would say. And it's not like, you know, the shadow is the shadow, whatever it is, but it can be that insecurity or fear of rejection that keeps you from expressing your true self and giving yourself the love as you're needing it, okay? So, and also some of you guys could have been dealing with some and here's superficial. So the Queen of Pentacles is not superficial. Inconsiderate is on the bottom of the deck too. So some of you guys could have withdrawn because you were dealing with some very selfish, arrogant, superficial, and inconsiderate people, all right? And Libra season, I feel like with this Harmony card, is here to restore some of that imbalance that you've been going through. And maybe part of the reason why you didn't really feel that social, or you're like, I don't want to deal with this kind of people, you know? And I feel some of you offer very unique what you do, whether you're a manager in a business or whether you're, you know, a self-employed person that offers a certain type of thing that you do. You know, what you have to offer is incredibly unique, and you're also, and very personal to you. Like nobody knows how to do what you do, pile number 2. All right. And, you know, there might've been some people that really wanted that from you. And I think the grace energy, talking about supporting our smooth adaptation to an anticipation of life's currents and changes as we evolve towards the higher version of ourselves. Okay, so this is also like with the Eight of Wands, trying to anticipate or plan for changes in plan or changes in course as well. And for the Queen of Pentacles, sometimes when the Eight of Wands is like rushing at her, that might be a little bit uncomfortable or be a little bit too fast paced, right? So if plans change or things, I mean, we are going to be in Libra season, we are going to be in a Mercury retrograde too. If plans change or things come up, try not to get too, down about it or upset about it, because there is this energy of grace coming through. And I also feel like, if you're really good at what you do, but sometimes people cancel on you at the last minute or leave you hanging, and this is very upsetting to you, then inconsiderate, right? Dealing with some inconsiderate people who don't respect your time or your schedule, I do feel that, Six of Swords, I feel like you're going to be able to have these conversations and say, if you want to work with me or you want to do this, then this is kind of, this is not kind of, but this is what needs to happen. If you want, the medicine or the work that I do or what I bring, then, it's gotta be, you can't just be bursting in on me whenever, right? That's very inconsiderate, all right? And what you want to see, I feel like, is grace in others, appreciation and grace, okay? So pile number 2, that is where sometimes those last minute changes or people just coming at you without really appreciating what you're doing, I think is where you start to feel like you're numb or easily taken advantage of, or you feel consumed and devoured, okay? So that's the Cicada Wisdom there, saying that's where we want to focus on these relationships, focus on the people that you can have a sense of harmony with, that are excited about what you're doing and your work, but also respect what you're doing. And I feel like that's going to happen, okay? So let's go ahead and see, what is the antidote? What is the medicine here? What is the medicine for pile number 2? We have Wolf and Teacher. Okay, so this whole situation I've been talking about has been trying to teach you something. And it may be, some of you guys may feel like hiding behind things too, because, with this whole thing of superficial and appearances, right? And it says start with your inner work, your value, your self-esteem, and your personality. Your self-esteem, your personal value, your self-esteem, your inner work, your value, your worthiness, right? With the Queen of Pentacles. And these situations have been teaching you something, all right? Wolf, I feel Wolf very much attached to that Virgo energy, kind of howling at the moon, Diana, Artemis, okay? But this Wolf energy, this has been teaching you something, what you've been going through here. And it's been challenging because it's a 5, okay? So it's 5, number 5, Teacher, Wolf. And, wolves generally travel in packs, but I feel like some of you may have been less wanting to do that because there's been some things you've really been deeply working on here. Let's see what else. But with this Libra energy coming through in harmony, I think this is changing. You've learned a lot, okay? We have Air and Message, okay? So Spirit wants to ask you, there's Wild Woman and Free on the bottom of the deck. So Spirit is asking you, have you got the message yet? Through all this stuff, pile number 2, they want to know, like, we've been trying to give you a message. We've been trying to help teach you about, working with air, all right? Working with the element of air, I also feel too, because I feel you guys have a lot of earth magic already. But there is something about grace, and 6 of Swords is also an Aquarius card. So there's something about working with air energy that Spirit is trying to teach you right now. And, air is a little bit more, it's way more unpredictable. And, yeah, I just heard that song by the Hollies. All that I need is the air that I breathe and to love you. Okay. So yeah, some of you guys, you know, with this wild woman energy and the Libra harmony energy. All that I need is the air that I breathe and to love you. That is, and I feel that's for yourself. That's for yourself. It's wonderful to have someone to share that with, but first and foremost, it's for you. And Spirit wants to remind you that you are wild and you are free. You know, sometimes with the Queen of Pentacles, you get kind of bogged down in this energy of, oh, I have to do this, or these people are demanding this from me, right? But Spirit wants you to know, you know, bone collector, wild woman, earth magic, you are free, okay? You are truly free in this lifetime. And the medicine, the work that you're doing with others, what you have to share is so fundamentally important. So don't ever silence yourself, okay? And don't ever think what you have to give isn't enough, because it is, okay? It really is pile number 2. So thank you so much, my lovelies. I hope that that message resonated with you. And if you enjoyed the message, then you can go ahead and give me a like or a subscribe. I'd be happy to have you be here on the channel forever if you could. And leave me a comment too, because I do love the beautiful comments. So thank you so much, pile number 2, and take care. Let's go ahead and move into pile number 3. All right. Let's do it. Spirit, please clear the energy of the previous 2 piles and connect me into my pile number 3s. Okay, let's go ahead and do it. Do it to it, pile number 3. All right, let's do it. Pile number 3, welcome to your reading. You chose the white tea light in today's reading. We're talking about Cicada Wisdom. And if you're like, what's a cicada, Natalie? I have no idea what you're talking about. Listen to my intro when I go over the wisdom of the cicadas and how they're an insect, a very long-living insect. They live sometimes, you know, they're underground for 17 years, and then the tree sap that they're eating tells them it's time to come above ground. And that's when they come above ground. And they're alive for 4 to 6 weeks, mating and flying around. They develop wings at that time, okay? So this whole reading is about emerging in the next 4 to 6 weeks. What is really emerging for you? Cicadas also wait that 17-year time to find that perfect moment to emerge, okay? So, and many people think that cicadas are hibernating when they're underground. They're not. They're very busy. They're doing many different things, and then they just transform into another version of themselves when they come out of it, okay? So very interesting insect and lots of wisdom to teach us. We're also going to be asking, where do we feel paralyzed, like we're easy prey? Where do we feel numb and easily taken over? And where do we feel consumed and energetically devoured, okay? Because there's really one main predator for the cicada, and that's the cicada killer wasp, who implant a larvae in the, a larvae inside the cicada after they numb it, and then it hatches and it eats it from the inside, okay? So not to freak you out, pile number 3 with that, but it's good to look at, you know, whenever you're looking at an animal totem, it's good to look at what are its predators. And cicadas are interesting because they only every 13 to 17 years or so, some are on a 13-year cycle, some are on a 17-year cycle, they appear, right? And those are both prime numbers. And so, yeah, they do that to avoid predators, to be tricky that way, which is really cool. And yeah, so, and in the tarot, card number 13 is the death card, and 17 is the star card. So that's really looking at this cicada energy. So with that being said, that's kind of a short summary of my intro in case you missed it, but let's go ahead and get into it. Spirits, angels, and guides, please connect me to the wisdom of the cicadas for my beautiful pile number 3s. And connect me to the next 4 to 6 week cycle, please. And also connect me to what is emerging for them. So let's go ahead. Let us, right? The word lettuce. Let us go ahead. Maybe some of you guys should have some lettuce, right? That always helps. Lettuce is so good for you, but it gets boring unless you put stuff on it. So let's go ahead and get into it. Pile number 3. Let's see what's emerging for you. We have Number 4, 4 of Pentacles, open up. Okay, so opening up is happening for you in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Interesting that we have a 4 here. And when cicadas come above ground, they are opening up to a whole new way, right? And the 4 of Pentacles, when we look at that, we don't, if you guys are familiar with the 4 of Pentacles, it's a guy who's like miserly holding on to his pentacle, right? He doesn't want to let it go, right? So Spirit is saying if there's some area of your life where you've been hanging on to something too tightly, or you've been nervous or worried about opening up to someone, or opening up your life to someone, or just opening up, maybe even some of you guys having to do with money with the 4 of Pentacles too, right? Kind of opening up your energy to receive, all right, is what I'm getting here. Ooh, we have the Empress. Of course, the Empress is the best receiver in the entire deck of tarot, all right? So open up in the next 4 to 6 weeks so you can receive the nurturing, the love, the attention that you need. And I love that this Empress is just, she's out kind of like sitting on her knees with her arm reached up like that. And she's in a beautiful garden with nature. Okay, so opening up to your own nature, to your own internal nature. What is it that you need, right? Some of you guys in the next 4 to 6 weeks are going to be telling maybe some people in your life, this is what I need, or this is what's important to me. I also feel some of you guys, by opening up, you're going to be able to have that experience of being nurtured more, which is beautiful. All right. So, and I would say open up to nurturing something new in your life as well over the next 4 to 6 weeks, whether it's as simple as I'm taking on a new plant, right? Today, it was so funny, a short story, I had a plant on my patio and it was completely wilted, and I took it inside and I was like, it doesn't want to be outside. I took it inside and watered it, and I watered it every other day anyway, but I watered it and immediately it burst right back to its usual greatness. It was completely wilted, and then I had it inside for like an hour and a half, and it was like boom, like blooming and up, you know, and I was like, whoa, like that is so crazy that you can literally take a plant from outside that doesn't like being outside, put it inside for 1 hour and it completely changes, right? So it's stuff like that, right? Opening up to nurturing new things in your life. We have integrity here with number 25. The energy of integrity supports our choice to be consistently truthful and honest while being guided by high moral standards, all right? So I do feel there's some people in the next 4 to 6 weeks that you're going to be saying, you know, this is kind of 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We have a 3, a 4, and a 5. And I feel like you guys are going to be opening up to people and saying, you know, this is what feels good to me. This is what's important. And, you know, this is how, if you want to support me, this is how you can support me, which is a wonderful thing. And opening up to people, right? And being truthful and honest, right? So you may be having to have some conversations as well with people to say, hey, like, kind of open up about something that's been bothering you as well. I feel pile number 3. We have card 31 and the call of the muse, all right? So also opening yourself up creatively too with the Empress, and we have 30 or card 3 and 31. Open up to the muse, call of the muse. The muse is here to razzle dazzle you, pile number 3, into, you know, some new projects, right? If you've been feeling kind of stuck lately, you haven't been in your creativity, or you just haven't been able to kind of talk to people about certain things, I feel you're feeling inspired with the call of the muse. You're definitely feeling way more inspired. I see a ring here too, all right? I see like an engagement ring or a ring. So some of you guys may be talking to someone about like, hey, we've been together for a long time, or we've been on this particular path, and you know, here's what I'd kind of like in the future, or here's what I would be interested in. Or I also feel some of you could be opening up about your own story when it comes to love, or or how you feel about marriage or romance, or talking to someone about this. I feel having some very honest and truthful conversations over the next 4 to 6 weeks, okay? And it could be with someone that you're with, telling them, hey, I need these certain things. It might not be marriage. It might just be, I need this certain thing to feel cared for in my relationship with someone, right? Especially for those of you in really long-term relationships. Cicadas are the longest living insects. So some of you may be in very long-term where you're opening up, and then some of you are with someone new and you're like opening up to them about what you think and how you feel about connections and romance, and what your views and opinions are on that, okay? And I feel some people really need to hear your words about this as well. It may even be family and friends, or people who are in connections and you're like, hey, I want to kind of share this with you, or let's talk about this. Or some of you guys feeling very inspired, if it's not romance, feeling very inspired to create something that is in line with your integrity, that you really, really believe in, and finally opening up about what that is for you. All right. And we have selenite and purification. Yeah. So the next 4 to 6 weeks, and we have the white tea light, selenite, purification. Selenite derives its name from Selene. Oh, that's so beautiful. The moon, the Greek moon goddess. Oh my God. With its pure white translucent light, selenite can help purify your auric field and raise up your vibration of your environment. It opens up the crown chakra and connects you to your angels, your spirit guides, and higher self. Selenite is one of the few stones that requires no cleansing because it does not retain negative energy. Wow, 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 wow. So Spirit is saying open up your energetic field to receiving this purification for us, because you're being called to create something new here. It says, as I purify my space, it gives me a clean slate so I can fill it with the things of a higher vibration. Okay, so talking about purifying your space so that you can open up and receive and have this revitalization, this call of the muse here. Ooh, we have coming apart and card 46. So again, I see this as you having that conversation with someone. And some of you guys may feel like with a friend or a family member or a romantic partner, like, we need to have this talk, or we need to open up and we need to share with each other more, and we need to be honest about what we're feeling. And I feel, we have a Mercury retrograde in Libra coming up, talking about relationships, etc. here, and Venus energy with the Empress, okay? And also I feel like some of you guys could be mending fences with someone as well, whether it's a sibling or your romantic relationship at work. I feel like some of you are mending fences here. All right. Sometimes we have to come apart so we can come back together, the Empress, right? With more integrity in line. All right. And some of you opening up about something that happened in your life, I feel that could have been very challenging as well. That is part of the art that you're going to create for some of you here. And I also feel like some of you guys are going to open up about something that has been very hard for you, feeling like maybe you were coming apart on the inside. And this Four of Pentacles, you're finally sharing your journey or your story. You're opening up to others and letting them know. And through this process, you're becoming very purified, okay? And it is going to revamp your creativity and whatever it is that you're working on. I love that. We have Sun in Virgo and Endeavor. All right. You reap what you sow. Boy. Right. And talk about, with nature and earth and integrity, if we act in integrity, if we don't, you reap what you sow. And what I'm getting with this Virgo energy, Sun and Virgo energy, is this endeavor, this thing that you've been working on really hard and trying to stay in your integrity. And sometimes it just feels like, maybe like it's all, You know, because endeavoring and integrity, as great as it is, may not feel very, you know, it may feel like a lot of work, pile number 3. Okay, it may feel like a lot of work. And I'm rubbing my neck now for some reason. Maybe some of you guys have tight necks, or you need a massage or something, because I feel you've been working really hard and you have these very high standards, but inside you may feel like you're coming apart, you know, but you look like you're holding it together, right? So you're opening up about this and sharing your journey, and in that you feel lighter, and you're also more creative as a result of it. Wow. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands and we have the Emperor. Wow, that's a lot of fire energy. Okay, and we have the Ten of Wands. Wow, wow, wow. So I'm already getting stuff from this. Here's the Emperor and the Empress too, right? For those of you that are in divine, feminine, masculine, etc. connections, or you're working with that energy. But I feel somebody has been being very judgmental of your efforts, or they've been letting you, it's like they just kind of watch you struggle a little bit. Okay, and it could be a boss, it could be a friend, it could be a romantic partner, but I feel like somebody has kind of left you to your own devices, and it's just kind of threw you to the fire, and it's just sort of letting you struggle. For some of you, I feel this could have been a parent that was like this, okay, and made you work, instilled this belief in you, this hardcore, you reap what you sow, right? Which, that's true, but like, it sounds so unloving. It sounds so unforgiving, you know? And the Empress is much more loving and forgiving. And I think it's important for you to realize who you are, pile number 3. It's not this hardcore push till you can't push no more and drive yourself crazy over it just because you want to prove yourself. Or, you know, and sometimes maybe when you were younger, it felt that you had to do that because you were kind of on your own, all right? Maybe some of you were really on your own when you were younger, and it felt like everything was falling apart unless you kind of held it together, okay? And I feel some of you had to work very, very hard, Ten of Wands, to show, maybe you felt you had to prove it to someone, to show that you knew what you were doing and you could push through it, and that you were able to do it, all right? And you didn't just go off half-cocked, but that you actually knew what you were doing the whole time. I feel some of you could have put a lot of effort into showing someone that. I also felt like, the internal, if it doesn't have to do with another person, it can be the internal part of us that judges the part of us that thinks that everything has to be super hard work, or it's not done with integrity, okay? That things we can't just open up and receive and purify and all of that. That if we don't, shove that nail and that piece of wood, if we don't, if we don't drive it home, that nobody else is gonna do it and we have to be the ones to do it, right? And this whole sense of, somebody feeling like somebody isn't going to help you or show up for you, pile number 3. And for some of you, this may go back even to childhood, okay? Some of you guys may have had very tough childhoods and learned, quite a bit of lessons from this about integrity and reaping what you sow and all this stuff. And it feels very archaic, it feels very like old school. All right, I gotta be honest, and maybe some of you guys had parents or or father figures like that, or somebody in your life or a partner who was very like, if you want to go do something, then you got to do it on your own, and I'm not gonna help you, but good luck, is what I feel. This could have been a partner that was like this and watched you struggle, pile number 3, okay? And I feel like what's emerging in you now is this purification, okay? And your auric field is purifying, and your crown chakra is opening up, and you're getting this beautiful sense of purifying. And I think some of these energies are leaving your life, and that's a good thing. And you are going to be able to work in peace and develop in peace and still have your creativity and your integrity intact, okay? And some of you might have learned the hard way that, you know, taking the easy route is not gonna, you know, I mean, I don't think things have to be constantly hard all the time, but it's finding that balance, you know, it's finding that balance between the right effort and the outcome, you know, it's finding that balance, I feel, pile number 3, okay? And I feel like some of you can feel someone's eyes on you. Like you can feel that their disapproval or something, all right? And I feel some of you guys opening up about this and talking about your story, and in that it purifies you, and it might have a very positive impact on your relationship too. For those of you that are felt like your relationship hasn't been doing well or things haven't been coming together, then I think talking about this, sharing it, walking this other person through it, I think may be helpful. All right. So yeah, interesting, very interesting energy on what is emerging for you. And with the cicadas, you know, you reap what you sow, right? 17 years underground, and then you come out, right? And then it's so fast. You only have 4 to 6 weeks to live, right? Knight of Wands, everything's so fast then. And you have to do so much during such a short amount of time, right? And that can be very upsetting for people too, you know? So I just wanna be there with you, holding space for you. And I think it's important you hold space for yourself. And if you tried something and it didn't work and it didn't go the way you wanted, you can purify that. You can open up about that, talk about it, purify it. And yeah, but just because something didn't work before doesn't mean that it couldn't work in the future, all right? But it's also a question of where's the best place to invest your energy, okay? So very interesting reading, pile number 3. Let's go ahead and see, where have you felt paralyzed and like you're easy prey? Where have you felt numb and easily taken over? And where do you feel consumed and energetically devoured? Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this for my pile number 3s. Selfish, this has come up in every single pile, all right? So having to respond to the needs of others or dealing with people. Emperor energy is wonderful for holding space, but sometimes you can hold too much space for people and it becomes selfish. Like someone isn't helping someone isn't there for someone's watching someone else really go through something and struggle and isn't really lifting a finger, okay? Isn't caring about the needs of others, all right? So this is some energy that you've had to deal with, I feel, pile number 3, that makes you feel very numb or taken advantage of, I feel. Let's go ahead and see what else comes up here. Negativity. Okay, so this has probably created some negativity in you too, all right? And yeah, so, or made kind of a pessimistic attitude in you at some times, all right? And opening up about this and how that was, and also somebody else being very negative with you, you know, like, oh, what you're doing isn't gonna work, or that's not going, or even just your own inner critic saying that isn't gonna work, right? A lot of people who had horrible parents have a very tough inner critic that tells them, oh, you shouldn't be doing that, or you shouldn't take that path, or that looks so dumb, or so, you know, yeah. So, and that may be affecting that internal negativity as well, pile number 3, right? That those selfish people that then made it feel very negative inside your own head, okay? Opening up about this, pile number 3, let's see what else here. We have impatient. Yeah, somebody's very impatient. All right, jealousy too on the bottom of the deck, okay? So, you know, yeah, somebody feeling jealous of you and putting you down, but at the same time, they can't really do what you're doing, all right? So whatever to that person, pile number 3, or even just in yourself, if you felt well, why does that person have this and I have to do all this on my own? And then getting very impatient with yourself, okay? And the energy of the cicadas is they're the longest living insects, and they're underground for 17 years, eating the tree sap, excavating, making tunnels, eating the tree sap, deciding, you know, when it is time to fully emerge, all right? And I get sometimes it can just feel like survival, like I'm just surviving, you know? And then times things can feel very impatient, right? And I think the impatience may bring on some negativity. It's like, why am I not here yet? Why haven't I done this yet? Why haven't I accomplished this? I should be working harder, right? And there's a need to be, and if somebody's talking to you like that or giving you that vibe, or a parent did, you know, I'm sending you a lot of love, and I'm sending you this beautiful Empress energy that you have here in this purification pile number 3 with this beautiful white light, okay? So I'm sending you that right now, if you went through that, okay? And you are your own inner authority for sure with the Emperor, but make sure you're being kind to yourself, okay? Make sure you're being kind to yourself is what I'm getting. So let's go ahead, and when people are very impatient with you or force you into things, pile number 3, that's when I feel like, you know, that's when I feel you feel that you're easy prey, or you feel consumed energetically, right? And easy prey, like when you put someone out, some of you may have left your home very early, I feel too. If you put someone out on a tightrope and tell them to walk, they are going to be very paralyzed and easy preyed upon, because they don't know what they're doing yet. They need time to learn and to work through the energy, right? So I think that impatience, if somebody's very impatient with you, like a boss or somebody telling you hurry up, pick it up, and yet they're not helping you, that can make somebody feel very paralyzed. And I feel it can also make someone, their nervous system, like their heart beat really fast and get really scared, you know? And so I just want to send you, you know, I just want to send you so much love, pile number 3, if you went through that experience, okay? So an opening up about it is going to help heal you with this open up and Empress. So opening up to the Empress energy in your life. Let's see. What is the medicine? What is the medicine for my pile number 3s regarding this, Spirit? What is the medicine? Stars. Oh my God. Well, the star card in the tarot is number 17 and associated with the cicadas. But in this case, we have 33, which is an angel number, and it says stars in infinite, right? And just remember that you're an infinite being, pile number 3. And, you know, some stars are different. Some are very dark and some are very bright. Some are dark for some periods and bright for, I mean, we need the darkness, we need the light. Someone said, imagine if you could never close your eyes and you were in total lightness all the time. That would be horrible, right? So, but just remember that you're an infinite being and you don't need to respond to anyone. You know, we need to calm the nervous system down with the Empress. We need to take our time. We need that purification. We don't need somebody's beady little steely eyes watching us, right? We need to realize that we have infinite time to do things and that we are infinite beings. And yes, everyone is different. People are not on the same path. That's fine. But you yourself are an infinite being, pile number 3. That's the medicine, right? And that you have an infinite amount of time to accomplish what you need to. Calming down that nervous system, okay? Taking your time. Let's see what else. Let's see what else here. We have buffalo and abundance, okay, with the Empress and abundance. And I mentioned money at the beginning of your reading. And just as I said that, I looked at the bottom of the deck. There's the koi fish talking about good luck. Okay, so good luck for you guys coming up when it comes to money. And maybe you can't even see it because you've been pushing so hard, but there is some very good luck and a good luck period coming for you. And that's what also is trying to emerge in you, is this ease and flow, this opening up, this good luck, all right, this good energy, this abundance, this infinite abundance. you know, where we aren't harsh on ourselves. We're not letting our inner critic bully us. We're not, you know, working so hard that we can't even look up for a second and take a breath, you know, like there needs to be this moment where you look up, right, and look at the stars and take a breath and realize you're an infinite being and there is abundance coming for you. I feel like within the next 18 days, I feel 18 days, how much is that? That's like 2 weeks and 2.5 weeks. Okay. For some of you guys here, you may be hearing about something or some opportunity or just getting a lot more, you know, getting a lot more clear about where you want to take something that you're working on too, is what I feel. Okay. So there's this abundant energy. Buffalo doesn't give up, pile number 3. You do not give up easily in life. And cicadas don't give up easily either. You know, they know that they've got 4 to 6 weeks to get something done to mate with others so that they can bring the new generation in, right? And they know they're busy working underground for 17 years and then they come up, right? And then it's like hoping for good luck when you come up for air, all right? And I see that happening for you for sure, pile number 3, coming up for air and having this really good luck and this abundance coming up for you, okay? If there's anybody that you feel is judging you or looking at you, some of you may even want to put, I don't really have any evil eye in my house. I don't know, I just don't really have it. I have one small piece of jewelry with it on it, but maybe some of you wanna have some type of evil eye protection or some big thing that you put on your wall or something, or just some little piece of jewelry. It doesn't even need to be some huge fucking thing, you know? And I feel, I don't know, my opinion on the whole evil eye thing, I mean, does it work? Someone want to leave a comment on that? I haven't been felt particularly drawn to it, but to like have a bunch of, you know, evil eye blocking stuff around me. But if you feel that somebody is being very jealous and impatient with you and you can feel their beady little eyes on you, then definitely wear something like that, possibly pile number 3, if it feels right to you, right? If it feels like that would feel good to you, okay? Because some of you, I feel there is an immediate need to kind of get this person off your case, okay? For some of you dealing with that, even if it's your own self, right? Can you give the evil eye, like to me, I've given the evil eye more to myself than I've ever felt it from anyone else. So, you know, maybe there's some purification ritual where you can say, you could work with the symbol of the evil eye and say, I am not giving myself the evil eye anymore. I'm not, you know, I'm not going to look at myself that way. Okay. So I hope I hope that's inspiring for you, pile number 3, to know that you're infinite and you have this abundance and good luck coming to you, and that is emerging. This Empress, this lovely Empress is emerging in you, okay? So thank you so much, pile number 3. Do leave me a like, maybe subscribe if you're feeling into it, and it does help my channel grow, helps to get my messages out to people. So thank you so much, pile number 3, and I hope to see everybody again soon. Take care.